Hey, viewers and listeners, we are live and welcome to the Seven City Shoptalk Sports Show broadcasting live from the beautiful state of Virginia to you and to everyone all over the world. I can tell you tonight, looks like it's going to be one of those spicy, rare occasions where I got everybody on the line right now, and I can just already see it's going to be something special tonight. But before we get going, we want to thank you for joining us in another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. As of now, this shop is open. So as everybody knows, I am Big Law, your host here, and we're gonna kind of jump right in. We got four things we're gonna talk about, but before we get into our subject matter, let me go ahead and let my team go ahead and get their opening arguments or opening speech here. Got my man Ed in the house. How you doing, Ed? There you go. I got you.
I'm doing well. Doing well. Staying away from the gambling tables makes me much happier.
I got you. All right. Now we got AB. What's going on, AB?
Ed popping off with shots to start the night. Man. Yeah, I've been losing like no other. So, glad it's Tuesday and we get a little break from sports. So I ain't losing more money. But other than that, it's a good day.
All right. Now let me come to Amy, hit our resident Hokie in the house. How you doing, Amy?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
No, he's doing pretty good. Pretty good. We're actually just had Wood on the line. We just lost Wood, but he'll pop back in as well. But as I was saying earlier, it's going to be a loaded show, and I can already tell by the is fervor the word I'm looking for, Ed? The fervor. Is that the proper word from my there you go.
Fervor, I don't know. Intensity, maybe?
Yeah, the intensity of some of the conversations and
I mean we're talking like playoff levels of intensity here.
Or palaver.
Ooh, palaver. No, that's lost.
Yeah.
That's Wood.
Oh, that's chatter. Palaver. That's like
palavering is chatter.
Yeah, just a bunch of like chatter going on right now.
Like when Chad goes on a rant.
Oh man, see, he's not here to defend himself. You might as well get all the shots in while he's not here, because he's coming 100 miles an hour for you.
Oh, I know he is. Counting on it.
Absolutely, wouldn't be right without it. But we got some things to cover today, everyone. First things first, let's kind of get into what our subjects are. Something was spoken about this, and we don't typically get political on the show, but we had a subject, and Amy hit, who is in the world of law and really is on top of that game. So she had put something into our chat and said that we should talk about it possibly, and it was about a Title IX law that was possibly pulled back that could possibly hurt women's sports and pay, something of that effect. We'll let her usher us into that conversation. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about your brackets. Are they still alive? Of course, we do have some brackets still alive, and we'll talk about that and what's going on in the NCAA, who's going to win, who's not. We'll also talk about UVA being pretty much the cupboards are bare as far as the talent from the NIL, the portal. Everything is gone right now. So who's where, what, why, we're going to have a conversation about it. And then we're also going to talk about Buzz Williams to Maryland. Of course, he was an ex-Hokies coach. He's a good coach, but yeah, Amy, but he's going to be back close to the Commonwealth. He's been at Texas A&M for the past 4 or 5 years. Going to be back here close to the Commonwealth, and it'll be really, really interesting to see how he's received at Maryland and anywhere else close to the Commonwealth, because I don't think he left on great terms. And then also we'll talk about the torpedo bats, in addition to UVA baseball having an issue, but the torpedo bats, which if you have not taken a look at them or kind of seeing what's been going on with them, is very, very, very interesting. A very interesting look to a bat. But let's kind of get this thing started. And I'm going to come to you, Amy, first. Let's talk about, well, you're going to have to navigate this. um, what, of what has happened from like on a political landscape that has affected sports, which it happens all the time. So give us an idea of what and how you feel about what has possibly happened and what the effect is. And I want your opinion on that.
So, if you read what I sent out, you will know that the Biden administration put some sort of law or regulation into place that said money had to be equally shared, right?
Title IX
As
kind of a thing, right?
right, sort of, kind of. And it was given some guidelines. Well, the minute you know who got into office, a lot of that stuff got reversed. And that was one of them that got reversed. So now, the schools they don't have to follow. I mean, he's doing away with the Board of Education, so it may, I don't know. It's to me it's disheartening because girls sports are getting so much better. They're so much more competitive. There's so much more interest, not just in basketball, but in the softball, in the volleyball, um, in the swimming. I mean, look at UVA. I mean, I'm not a UVA fan, but I sure am an Olympic fan. And the majority of the Olympic team came from UVA. So, you know, um, it's very disheartening that that law has now been reversed and the schools don't have to follow it.
Now, when you say reverse, what exactly was
He did.
reversed? I
He
mean,
so when the first day he got into office, all of those great big stacks of um, binders, folders, whatever you want to call them, he reversed pretty much every single thing that Biden put into place
okay,
across the board. I don't care what it was for, but it was all over the place. So, and that was one of the items that was reversed. That he did an executive order, and all presidents do it. They all do it, but this one really, really affects um, girls' sports, the parity, as far as the money goes and whatnot, to all of the sports.
okay. Ball hawking about it. Building. What's going on, ball hawk? We got shout out to our folks in the chat. So what you're saying is, you know, whatever happened, is gonna whatever was done or was said or was passed is gonna reverse the equality of women's sports to men's sports financially.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and have some commentary on that. Let's bring Ed in, our elder statesman. Let me come to you, Ed. Let me get your opinion on this. Then we'll go around the horn with Wood and AB on this.
I having been around until most of my hair either turned gray or fell out. I've seen the. I feel like I've seen the whole spectrum. As luck would have it, wife in high school, we have senior superlatives. My wife was voted most athletic and played on the second, third, and fourth UVA softball teams. So, I mean, I feel like I can comment specifically to UVA, but also across. It's the athleticism in like, as much as it pains me to admit, Amy's right. The athleticism has gotten so much better, and not just in basketball, like she was saying, softball. There's a women's soccer league that's providing my daughter with employment. There have been a lot of changes, and I would say Title IX is probably part of that. I don't know if it's necessarily for all of it, but it definitely deserves a percentage of the credit. It's my wife likes to talk about the the first softball pants that she had, and ladies in the audience will get this. Was going, huh? What? The pants buttoned up the back.
Okay, explain that.
It's so it the game has come. All of the games have come a long way. It used to be that female athletes were not taken seriously, or they were demeaned. That's not something ladies do. Well, beg to differ. And then they were not the prettiest thing at the dance, but then I saw Heather and Heidi Burge, and that sort of turned things around. There have been a lot of growth, and I would hate to see that. I would hate to see us go backwards on that, but not getting too political. It's not surprising, disappointing, yes, but not surprising.
Let me come to you, AB. Let me get your opinion on this. And Ball Hawk is saying this is a difficult, like Ed was saying, this is a difficult topic to discuss. It really is, because you're really, and I don't know. Let me give the floor to you, AB, before I go any further. What do you think about this, AB? Being that you were a college athlete, you've been in locker rooms and you've played the game. So kind of give me an idea of how you feel being a college athlete yourself.
Well, I wanted to be a college athlete. I should have been playing at JMU softball, but didn't end up going through with it. But I was an athlete. And unfortunately for me, I came from a small town where sports in general revolved around that community. So I was in a position where it didn't matter whether it was a men's sport or a female sport. I was lucky that had a community behind us, no matter what we were, whether it was men or women. That's pretty much where everybody found their entertainment, was going to games, no matter what it was. And a lot of the times, because the softball field and the softball and baseball fields are back to back, people would stand in between the two to be able to watch both. And so growing up, I witnessed that from a community standpoint. And then I moved on to, college, and I really saw where people just don't support women's sports as much as men's. And I can say it's understandable because, obviously sports started off, majority men's sports, but we've gotten to the point where women are truly respected in sports now. And I think we're so far past separating men and women. When are we going to stop putting separations on the two? And I feel like regardless, we both we both have earned our respect in the games. So, just to put an example onto what I'm referring to, just in December, Asia Wilson re-signed with Nike for one of the biggest Nike contracts that a woman has ever done. And it just shows that even women have made a huge impact in the sports world, no matter what. Like Amy was saying, a lot of women that have competed in the Olympics have been stars in college. It's not like we can't compete. We're very skilled, and I feel like we deserve the same amount of respect, even if we don't get that same showing. Football is America's game. It always is going to have its respect. But at the same time, I don't feel like women's sports should suffer just because.
Very good analysis from all of you. Let me come to you, Wood. Let me get your opinion on this as well.
Hey, Law, I missed the intro. What was the question? Sorry.
No, Amy, you want to go ahead and elaborate for Wood, because you explained it pretty well.
So the thing that I sent out in our group message was about what happened when Trump took office. He reversed a law or protocol, or whatever you want to call it, that Biden had put into place about the money being distributed, and that the women's sports should get just as much money as the men's sports. If you read what I sent out, he reversed it day one along with everything else that he reversed. I mean, you've seen all those stacks on his desk, and he just kept signing and signing and signing. So to me, it's making a step back. I mean, again, the NIL money is coming into play. The amount of money, the thing that we were talking about last week, like that cap, that law said that there's like a $20 million cap, salary cap, going to be placed on stuff. I think that is all now gone out the window because he has reversed all of that.
So I guess the thing is, we're just asking, I guess your
Did
opinion
you read
of
it is number one, and what do you think about it?
as far as, I guess should women's sports, I guess the Title IX, should that still be somewhat of the law when it comes to distribution of funds as well as giving equality for male sport, women's sport equality?
Well, no, I don't think the money ever. It's never going to be the same. I think when you look at revenue, not only men and women, it goes from sport to sport. The sports and the teams that make the most money will obviously be paid the most money. It has nothing to do with men versus women. Men's basketball, men's football, they make more money. Obviously, there's not female football, but men's sports makes more money. So can you say they should make as much money as should women make as much money as men? No, because they don't drive enough revenue. I'll put politics aside, but I just think it's a simple answer. When you make more money, you get more money. And that's not downgrading women or women's sports at all, but when you bring in more revenue, you're going to get paid more revenue.
The Indiana Fever have brought in more money in 1 year with Caitlin Clark than the majority of the NBA teams.
No, that's not true.
That most certainly is true.
They brought in more money than the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers. Is that what
I didn't say that. I didn't say the Lakers, and I didn't say the Celtics. No, I said the majority of some of the NBA teams. The Wizards, by all means, they've blown out the Wizards.
So that's the exception. That's not the rule. You're asking me, should women make more money than men in basketball?
That's not what I'm asking you. You obviously didn't read what I sent out. So
I read what Law posted in the chat. He said, should women make more money than men? And the answer is no.
That's not what that was about.
No, women's sports should not make more money than men's sports, whether you like it or not, because they don't generate as much revenue as men, period.
But that doesn't mean that our sports should have to suffer just because men's drawing more revenue. I mean, money towards sports helps bring in bigger athletes. So then you're taking away the opportunity for a women's sport to ever grow. Unlike a men's sport.
I'm not saying it should suffer, but it's never going to bring in more money than the men's basketball. So should they make more than men? The answer is no.
Okay.
I mean, is there an argument against that? They should make more money than men make? It has nothing to do with being sexist. It's just a matter of fact.
But they have to be put in the opportunity to be successful, to be able to have that effect. I mean, I'm always in the chat talking about the WNBA's making positive strides. They're doing that, but they're doing that because of the Caitlin Clarks. If we don't have the money in women's sports to be able to get and build athletes, it's never going to happen. Women's sports aren't going to be respected like men's sports. Period.
No, I agree with that. I have no argument against that. But the question is, should females make more? If they make more revenue than men, absolutely. But right now, they're not making more revenue than men. So the answer is no, in my opinion.
Ballhawk on the line. Ballhawk saying, but the fans have to back up their talk to support the women. He said the same women that want women's sports to be respected have to support those women when they play their games and purchase their merchandise.
Oh,
Uh,
listen. Caitlin Clark's new shoes getting ready to drop. I have on my feed alone on Facebook. There has been at least 25 people that I know that are going to be standing in line to get the shoe, just here in my little small town. I mean, there's only 7,000 people here where I live, but it wasn't the question wasn't should women make more money than men. That was never the question. The question was, or the the observation was, Biden had put into place that if you gave men's sports 20 million, women's sports should give 20 million. And I'm just throwing that out there as a number. I don't know what the number was, but that's what he put into place. Trump negated it the day one when he was in office. That's what I sent out to you all. You have the Yukon coach for the female team and Kim Mulkey blasting ESPN this week
that's
because
Gina Oriyama and
yeah,
Kimball. Yeah.
because of the stupid super regionals that they hosted. The amount of revenue and the amount of tickets that could have been sold if they'd have done it in the same format that they did the men's would have been, I think it probably would have been almost on par with the men's. I mean, I have enjoyed the women's basketball tournament more than I have the men's this time.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking, it's this is definitely a dilemma. I mean, we got my folks in the chat here. Ball Hawk is talking about, in WNBA has to produce. My man James, what's going on? James Watson in the building as well. Thank you for tuning in. That's right, it's Tuesday. It's time to get funky. Ball Hawk says, Sabrina Ionescu, I believe she has a shoe. He said, why wait for Caitlin? He said, Asia has shoes too. Oh, I guess he's talking to you, Amy. He said, Asia has a shoe.
I'm just saying what came across my feed today. I didn't even know she was putting out a shoe. I'm just saying you've got more little girls looking up to all of these players and wanting all of this merch. And at the college level, why shouldn't it be on equal footing? I mean, again, football gets more money because football generates
because they
more
don't bring in as much revenue as men do. I mean, it's
Okay.
quite simple.
Okay. So you say.
No, that's a fact. It's not, I don't say it's a fact.
So,
But Ahmad, off of what Chad's saying, Ahmad is making the point of what I was trying to say. He said it's the norm for fans to support men. So that's why the men's sports generate a lot of money, because the norm is to support those certain sports. We understand that we can't be equal right now, but we all have to get out of this norm of what is the support. Like, if you're going to support basketball, you're going to support basketball, right? Like, men's, women's, it's the same deal. Women's sports have been increasingly getting more competitive, and I think that has always been the struggle in the past. The women's sports just weren't as competitive, but now we have some crazy competitive teams out there that have made names for themselves and have actually put women's sports as on the spotlight. And there's a lot of great talent out there, but we pick who we want to support, and not saying anything towards you, Amy, but we talked about Caitlin Clark, and Ahmad's bringing up a good point. Why are we waiting to just support Caitlin Clark when we've had people in the WNBA that have been, look at Dawn. Dawn had a great stint. It's just like, we just can't get the support, and we can't get respected on that level like men do. It doesn't mean we're any less competitive. We're just not getting the support. Which is bringing us to the bigger point. That's why it doesn't draw enough revenue, because women's sports generally have not been respected and supported like men's sports have.
Ball Hawk saying that can't be equal money if it's not the same. He also says he thinks the coverage and marketing for women's sports has improved. This is true. It has with the advent of Caitlin Clark, in addition to all the other and wonderful WNBA talents, and not talented ladies, but also in other sports as well. There are sports on the rise, women's lacrosse, women's, even like a women's football sport. I've seen more women's football leagues, like localized kind of a thing, pop up more than I ever would have thought. Where you have women out here playing full blown, like semi-pro tackle football, and they're getting it. And then of course the advent of uh, don't college girls have a flag league now? You guys may be able to tighten me up on that, but let me come to you, Ed. Let me come to you on that, Ed. I know you had a daughter that played in college. Your wife played in college. You've been a huge advocate. You're a women's basketball season ticket holder at UVA. Just kind of give me a little bit more from how you feel about some of this.
I remember there was a movie when I was a kid. It was called All the President's Men, and one of the taglines was always "Follow the money." Is it coincidence that women's sports are taking off after Title IX? Probably not.
Rush Hour. That was one of them.
Yeah. The first place I heard it was in All the President's Men. They were investigating Watergate, and the strategy was follow the money. That will tell you what's going on here. I have seen firsthand instances where boys didn't have to justify or explain anything. If the football team needed new uniforms, they got them. Didn't matter if they hadn't made playoffs in anybody's lifetime or basically done anything. If the boys needed something, they got it. If the girls needed something, well, maybe you could have a bake sale. Ha ha ha. So I've seen it firsthand where money does make a difference. It doesn't make all the difference. Like Ballhawk was saying, you've been given an opportunity with the WNBA. Take advantage of it. Put your butts in the seats and support this. Attendance was up at women's basketball. UVA women's softball set an attendance record a couple of weekends ago. You're trending in the right directions. And maybe it's to the point now where it doesn't need all of the money, but that doesn't mean they don't deserve it. They're just like AB was saying. In some respects, I think the women's game is better. Call me crazy. I enjoy watching a softball game just as much as I do a baseball game. It's the strategies are a little different, but the women's game in softball there were, I think the last softball series I went to, there were 5 or 6 home runs in that 1 3-game series. It used to be you didn't see 5 home runs all year. And I'm not talking about like circling the bases, little league home runs. I'm talking about over the fence, on the fly, home runs.
Forget about it.
Yeah, the athletes are getting better. It's the support that the women's teams are getting is much better.
Well, you think about the advent of Caitlin Clark shooting threes like Steph Curry. Ladies didn't shoot threes like that.
The athletes have gotten better.
Yeah,
and but the coaching has gotten better. The conditioning, the training has gotten better. Why? Well, there's money in it now. There's more people saying, "Well, try this," or "Hey, how about that?" And it's because there's money.
Let me tell you. While we're talking about money, Boston Celtics revenue last year $17 million. Los Angeles Clippers negative $114 million.
Yes,
Phoenix Suns 0. Milwaukee Bucks a negative $14 million. Portland Trail Blazers $71 million. The Indiana Fever had revenue last year of $45 million. Maybe they're not making more than a lot of the NBA, but they're
Amy,
making more at least than five.
Amy.
I'm
I
looking
got you.
right at it.
No. I'm curious about something. You. How about some other WNBA teams? Not just the Indiana Fever. How are some of the other teams doing? Is it just the Fever that are making money, or is it other teams?
Oh, I have to look up the women's. I was just looking up the NBA's, but I'll look up the women's.
Sorry, I didn't mean to give you homework.
No, that's fine.
And we'll come back to it. We actually got a guest in the house. Ball Hawk just
God
dropped
damn.
in. What's going on, Ball Hawk, man? I know you probably, you sent about 6 or 7 messages. We got the voice of UVA, one of the voices of UVA.
Yeah, I'm not the voice. John's the
Football.
voice.
I
John's the
said
voice.
one
Yeah.
of the Ball Hawk. Come
No,
on.
John is the voice. I'm an analyst. He's the voice.
He's
Okay,
I
Messiah.
never want to get that confused, man. I got too much respect for him.
the analyst in the booth on UVA football games. Ball Hawk and my Hawk is in the house. How you doing, Ball Hawk?
I'm
My
good, man.
sidekick.
I'm loving the conversation, bro. This is a great topic.
It's deep right now. It's real deep, and it's a conversation that has way more legs nowadays, based off of the advent of how well women's sports have done, especially within the past 4 years. And it started, in my opinion, really with the soccer team, the women's soccer Olympic team, and how well they had done, and they were just better than the men's team by far. They're World Cup champions, they are Olympic champions, and the men were still getting more money. And men's soccer, if you know anything about soccer, was very, very average at best, compared to other teams in the world. On the other hand, women's soccer, which sold out, stadiums, which also was the number 1 team in the nation, or actually always top 2, top 3 in the nation. So you want to add to some of this? I know you've been giving us some good feedback here in the chat. So go ahead, let's add some Ball Hawk juice to this. Shut up, juice to this. So what's up, man?
No, I just think that just mainstream media is doing a better job of following the women's game, marketing the women's game, highlighting the women's game, having discussions about the women's game. The talent has always been there. Like, nothing's changed. It's just they paying more attention. They putting them on in the forefront. They're not just waiting until the national championship game. Like, they showing them love, and everybody's identifying and witnessing that the women's game is fun. You got the males who want to lower the goal and they want to see dunks. You got like the simple minded guys. That comes with the sport, right? Like, that's the thing. And I think a lot of people don't realize, like, even in men's sports, because we think that when people discuss women's sports, you got to keep it just a sport. But drama comes with sports. When you look at men's sports, like right now, what's the biggest drama? LeBron and Stephen A, or the fight that happened with the Bucks and the Pistons. But it's like, when mainstream media wants to put the eyes on the women, you got to understand what comes with that responsibility. And the one great thing that happened for women's college basketball, like it or not, is you had the Caitlin and Angel Reese. Well, it started with Caitlin and the young lady that's at TCU right now, that was at Louisville, because she did it to her. That You Can't See Me.
Haley Van Liff.
Yeah, so when she did it to Haley, it was funny, right? Everybody laughed because it was Caitlyn and Haley. But when Angel did it, it was the perfect storm. It was like good versus bad, tall versus short. It was all the extremes that you want in drama when it comes to sports. So you have both women returning, the champion and the runner-up, clashing, and both of them lived up to the billing. And then Caitlyn got to the finals again versus another big dog, which is our own Dawn Staley in South Carolina. And then Caitlyn carries that over in the WNBA, breaking records, doing what she do. And everybody was pitting those two women against each other. But behind closed doors, they like each other. But if you leave it up to the fan bases, they can't stand each other. And when you have somebody like Cheryl Miller, who coached them in the All-Star games, like, the one thing
Good
that she loved
friend.
the most is that
Yeah.
they just how they played so well together,
Mhm.
and how they laughed and joked together. Like, I just think that when it comes to women's sports, when it comes to fair. It's like you want to see women start to earn more, but we as fans who want to see women do, earn more, we got to do our part too and continue to support them, continue to make sure when their games are on, we sharing it, we creating talking points on our social medias to get the eyes on these women so that they could get these big TV contracts because as the stats were being shown about like the Celtics and the Clippers and Portland and what they made, the biggest difference is and they edited very well, but the TV contract supplements if you had a loss as an organization because
That's true.
everybody shares that.
Yeah,
It's no
revenue
different than the
sharing that.
NFL, how the revenue sharing helps them. The revenue
Right.
sharing, like the women, they have been losing money for years. So the fact that the W is
Yeah.
still around, it's a beautiful thing.
Well, it was subsidized by the NBA.
Yeah. So it's just one of the things is like, yes, you want the women to make more, but then the ugly truths have to be shared. And then if you share the truth, you're looked at as a hater. That's why I always say it's difficult because when Chad came on and said the revenue, some people just feel like he don't want the women to make more money. He's like, no, it got to make sense. And if when Coach talked about the venue, like even the NCAA is scared to even put their money where their mouth is because if you put the women in a big venue, in your heart of hearts, you got to know that the fans gonna show up for the women, but they don't even trust it. But the women have shown they'll show up if you put them in a bigger venue. They will. If
That's
you
a
put
big
them on
change.
TV, people will watch them.
That's a big change.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I watched John Staley. I
Mm-hmm.
watched this weekend. I watched all the girls' games. I can't say that I watched all the men's games consistently, but I made sure I wanted to definitely see Kim Mulkey. And I can
Yeah.
tell you the one thing about women's sports, their coaches are stars. Their
Well,
Mm-hmm.
coaches, they put on a show. I don't care what anybody says. Between Kim Mulkey, my girl at Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Sydney Carter.
Sydney Carter, um, uh, Dawn Staley. I mean, they are definitely the coach at UCLA. They're just very animated. They're part of the show. I can tell
Mm-hmm.
you that, and they're entertaining to watch as well. So, um, it's to me, I just feel like it's a situation where it's a tide rising right now.
Yeah.
It's a tide rising. Now I don't know when it will or ever will become like Chad was saying, you gotta like make it equal money wise to start paying equal money wise. But the ladies are coming. They're coming up with in all different sports. And we talk about basketball being what it is. Um, just some of your opinions, and I'll start with you, AB, and I'll come back to you, Wood, Ball Hog, and Amy and Ed as well. What are some other sports you see on the rise other than basketball? Let me start with you, AB.
Well, I don't have
From
anything to go off that, but I had something to kind of go off of what you and Ahmad were saying.
Mhm.
Um, y'all made really great points, but like as I'm listening to you, have we ever noticed that like in men's sports, like the little scuffles, we love those. But in women's sports, we find ways to try to diminish women. Like we love when a men's basketball coach is dressed dapper and has fashion, but we have gone on social media. Some people love it, but a lot of people have found ways to completely diminish people like Coach Don Thornton, Coach Carter, Coach Mulkey for just the way they dress, for bringing fashion, which is what women do. We're very fashionable. You have diminished that. Oh, well, they dress a certain type of way or they dress inappropriate to be a coach. Like we find ways to be so negative. Everybody, like, and not everybody's like that. I'm not saying everybody, but we've always found a way to be so negative in regards to women's sports. And I don't know why, like, we we need to just learn how to support whether you like what they wear to coach the game. It doesn't matter. You're not putting those clothes on. We need to find a way to be more supportive instead of constantly diminishing women's sports. And I think that's where it's always been. And I know the competition has always been there, but we've had so much more people in the public eye, like especially with the Caitlyn and Angel situation. it brought a lot of attention. We've had a lot more like stars that have really brought a lot of attention to fans' eyes, that have brought it to the forefront, but we've still found ways to try to diminish them.
Let me come to you, Amy. Go ahead and add to that if you would like, or what other sports have you seen that are on the rise from a women's standpoint?
Well, I mean, when you've got Virginia Tech softball team on ESPN as the top 3 play for that triple play, then you've got another, I think, but maybe it was UVA, or one of the girls. I don't. It might have been UVA. The girl completely went over the fence, caught the ball. Softball is one. I want to say too, that's probably because softball is going to be back in the Olympics in the next 2 years. And then the swimming is another one that I think, and I think that's because of the Olympics, and also for track and field. And the Los Angeles Times has reported, and because Ed asked me about this, Caitlin Clark only made $76,000 as a rookie, but she was responsible for 26.5% of the WNBA revenue this past season, and that's on the Los Angeles Times. So, the WNBA is on track to make like $2 billion this year.
That's great.
In revenue, and I'm not just saying it's just Caitlin Clark, but that's what the LA Times was reporting, and I was trying to find the other stuff. But I mean, the TV viewership, it says, due to Clark, is up 300%, and 45% of total broadcast value came from the Fever's games alone. Merch sales for WNBA rose 500%, followed by Chicago Sky rookie Angel Reese. Clark was
Very
one,
nice.
Reese was second. The record numbers of people per game was 17,000. It's now 340,000 for total
Wow.
team attendance. So, I'm not just saying just, talk about Clark all the time, Clark. It's not that. It's, you have players, Reese, Clark, Juju
Watkins, yeah.
Watkins. I mean, I cried. That girl, I was watching that game. I
She blew
cried.
me out, yeah.
I mean, she was definitely hurt. And you've got the girl from Notre Dame that's on fire constantly. I mean, as much as I hated Notre Dame,
Hannah.
I wanted Notre Dame to
UConn.
win, but just,
Yeah, UConn. Yeah,
I mean,
UConn, phenomenal.
and Paige Beckers, I mean, she's going to be another one.
Yeah, we're saying more names than we ever have. That's one thing that I can tell you. The names that we're saying right now, a lot of folks have heard in other circles as well. Let me do this. Let me come to you, Wood. As far as women's sports, what other women's sports have you seen on the rise other than basketball?
No, I piggyback on what you said as far as softball goes. But that's what I was saying to begin with. I mean, women's sports are on the rise, and no one's opposed to that. But like I said earlier, with revenue, and Ballhawk piggyback off that and agreed with it, it's on the uprise, but that has to continue. And if you want women's sports to be on that level as men's sports, it's got to continue. And we're not saying we're against women's sports by any means, but I would say softball's on the rise, but you just got to have like the trend that's continuing. It has to continue and get more attention, more revenue, and as the revenue grows, the attention will grow, and then you'll get higher salaries. But that's the whole point of the thing. No one's against women's sports, and I don't want to be, by my comments earlier, I don't want to be taken the wrong way saying I'm against women's sports. But I'm saying the revenues, as the revenue grows, the salaries will grow, the attention will grow, but we're just not there yet.
Not there
But
yet. Okay.
I'm not talking NIL money. I'm talking money that was to be given to sports. It was supposed to be equal across the board for men's sports and women's sports. Now there's no guideline because it has been completely reversed, and it's not going to happen.
But
And
if
there's
it's,
not going to be
But
that
it was
salary
never.
cap.
I
It
got
was
one
never
question though.
equal,
Is
and
it?
it never would be.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody wants somebody to get their due share, but can like every school, if you know you got a dominant sport that's bringing a lot of money, can you imagine if they are allowed the same amount as a sport that is not bringing in any money, like how they would feel?
No, that's not what I'm saying. There was a salary cap going to be put into place, and we talked about this last week. Law
Hmm.
brought it up. That's why I went back and looked and found that the law has now been reversed. So the salary cap is no longer there. That's no longer a viable thing. So again, SEC is going to dominate everything because they got all the money.
I mean, SEC been using their money for decades before it became.
Well,
Let me stop.
before it came legal. We had this conversation
Yeah,
last week too. Yes,
yeah,
we
we
did.
did. We did. We had this conversation about the other. Yeah,
I mean, big
yeah.
money always take big bank
That's
always
right.
take little
Big,
bank.
big thing. There you go.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
has
You
nothing.
gonna
It
say it?
has
I was
nothing to
gonna
do with
say
baseball,
it.
salary caps and
NBA, the
politics. I
markets
mean,
play a role. Like I
exactly.
in college, we do miss the essence of out of sight, out of mind. It's just everything's in our face now. So I'm not surprised by a lot of the reactions and stuff.
I still believe it's some of it is out of sight, out of mind too. Because I've seen it myself in Dallas when I was in Dallas at the beginning of the last month.
Hmm.
And when I'm saying it, I'm not saying that we shouldn't take away from like big sports, but if we take some restrictions away, that there is no amount that is has to be given to women's sports versus men's sports, there of course they're gonna, if there's no limit, if there's no restriction, that money is gonna go there, which means it's gonna take away from those programs that we're trying to gain that attention to. That's where I'm trying to get to. Like Ed was saying, if the
Hmm.
money's not there for those sports because we've put it all into football, just for an example,
Yeah.
then we're losing the money to develop the women's sports, whether that be uniforms, facilities, you know, stuff for the athletes. We're making them in the sports world, in that school, we're making them that minority significantly more because we're not giving them that monetary support either. Because
On the
let's be
back
real,
end.
if there's no restrictions, they're going to put 90% of that money into those bigger sports, which I get
Hmm.
it. Most of those sports should get the money, but then that's taking away from trying to build those programs that are women's based, like basketball, softball, whatever the case may be. And that's even for the, for the men's. I
Hmm.
mean, you're taking restrictions away. That's allowing them to decide that 100% of the money could go to football. Forget the other sports. We're just going to let them be what they are. We're not allowing opportunity for other programs to grow and be successful. That's the point that I was getting to.
Okay.
No, but I think that's the world we live in. I think it's going to go football and basketball. I mean,
It
80,
depends on the
90%. I
school.
mean,
Yeah.
that's the, yeah, I mean, that's the world we live in. I mean, it has nothing to do with litigation or politics or anything else. The majority of the money is going to go to football and basketball because they generate the most revenue. If we can get other sports to generate more revenue, then obviously more funds will be allocated to those sports, men or women. But that's just where we are. I don't know what changes that, to be honest with you.
I
Well,
mean,
people
I understand where she's coming from. I mean, you do want to make sure money is allotted to the women's sports. Like, you want to make sure you protect it because you don't want somebody just abusing it. Have an
Mhm.
egomaniac come in there and just say, forget the women because they got this closed off mindset. Like, you do want to put something in place to protect the women, to give them a chance to rise up, like rise out the ashes, become competitive, become marketable, like that, give them that chance. So I understand
That's
where they're
that
coming
word.
from in
That's
that.
the word. Marketable.
you got to
That.
spend sometimes you got to spend money to make money too.
Yeah.
Just because something's being profitable doesn't mean you can't put money into women's softball to make it profitable. That's how you get it out the mud. You got to spend money to get there.
I mean, we see that here at UVA. I mean, we built the stadium, started spending money in our softball team. and they started producing. They started winning games. They're getting better. So
This is
Because
true.
I think it's because they felt like they mattered too.
yeah,
I mean, people got to realize, like, when you go to a school, you want to feel like you matter. If you don't feel like you're an important part of that sports program, you think they're going to play that way?
Well, also ball hogging, and you can attest to this. You know, building that facility for the football program, that was naturally that was no mistake. While that was being built, that was something that, like AB said, it gives them pride. It gives them something to look forward to. It also, you hate to say this, but it's true. You build it, they will come. They will honor it. They will want to be a part of something that's in a building process. And I think putting more resources towards something that matters to you, it means a lot, to those who are on the outside, looking at it, and maybe they want to be a part of something special that they see.
nah, that's true. I mean, you got to demonstrate that you care about your program, and you care about winning and improving. And if your digs are old looking and run down, that new talent not gonna come. But if you showing you upgrading it and the state of the art, and you quote trying to keep up with the Joneses, and it takes a culture, it takes fans, it takes donors to buy in, and they putting their money where their mouth is as well. So it's a give and take. Like if they're gonna donate and you're gonna build new, the ROI has to be there, return on investment. So
For sure.
what that's what I was saying earlier, just about even with the women's game, because Amy brought up a good point. I do see how women fans try to go at women when they show that same dog we love men to show on the court. I will say this, Amy.
I like it.
They joke the men for what they wear though. They be killing Westbrook for what he wearing. They be killing all them boys for what they be wearing. So I'm with you on the fashion. It's 50-50. They be destroying these men what they be wearing. Good gracious, that's all they
do.
talk about. But I'm
They
with you
do.
on that. Like they when it comes to women, man, I don't get it, bro. It's a lot of
It's
what's
a
the
part of
word
the
I'm
double
looking for?
standard of the game, bro.
Yeah.
It's
It
the
It's
double
is.
standard
women.
of the game that we all are a part of.
It's
Yeah.
Some things
women
are good for
being
some, and
catty.
some things are not good for others.
It's
We'll have
women
that till the end
being
of time.
catty. It's women being catty against other women. That's what's irritating. That's why I don't work with women. They catty. They
Listen to
bitches.
Amy.
They
Listen to
backbite.
Amy.
I'm
Oh
just
my God.
telling you, they are, and they're
Well, I mean,
catty.
you're right
Hey,
though. At
Hawk,
the same time about the men, like I hate to bring it up because he's a former UVA coach, but y'all saw how we clowned Coach Richie for his hair. I know y'all
Oh,
saw
I
that.
definitely had fun with that.
Man,
Beijing.
Richie, man.
Got that Beijing. Hey, it's all right. Hey, we all use that Beijing enhancement. You know what
Every
I'm
now
saying?
and then,
He was
I
clean though.
like
He
it.
was till they got up close. It was like, abort mission.
hey Hawk,
Look, speaking.
hey Hawk, I kick back on that keeping up with the Joneses because them Jones boys ain't spending shit.
Who was that?
Jerry and Steven.
Oh man. Hey man, y'all
Them
got the $1
Jones
billion
boys ain't
playpen. Y'all
spending
ain't gotta
shit. Ain't
spend
hard
that
to
no more. Your money
hey
spent.
hey ain't hard to keep up with
Come
the
on to
Joneses.
Philly,
I can
brother.
tell
You
you.
come to Philly. Come to Philly, man.
Well, speaking of this, while we got Ball Hawk on the line here, we got a spring game in a couple weeks, and
Next
just
week.
wanted to get a week. That's right. Next week. So I want to get an analysis of how you feel about or give me an idea of what you think the team is looking like. You are the analyst in the booth with John, and want to get your opinion of what you're seeing. Just a little bit of a report of what you're seeing this spring and how it compares to what the team has looked like in the previous years, based off of what has been invested for this team this year. What are we looking at? What are we? What should we expect? And should there be an improvement from what you've seen, or just give us your honest analysis?
You want Ball Hawk to answer this or Petty Hawk?
I want both sides.
Petty.
No.
Petty Hawk.
We want
Petty
both.
Hawk.
We want both. No, don't
Team Petty.
marginalize. Look, don't marginalize.
Team Petty.
Hey, all right. So let me full disclaimer. Full disclaimer. I can't give you a true analysis because I could watch practice because I'm a former player, so I could watch more than what the media can. So I technically can't give you too much in-depth information, but this what I can give you.
Okay, which one first? We going Petty Hawk or we going Ball Hawk first?
We're going ball hawk first. I'm gonna
All
be
right, let's go
serious.
Ball Hawk first. All right, do Ball Hawk first.
I'll tell you this. When you see the transfers we got here, they look the part. Like it's like, yo, what the hell who is that? Like offensive lineman. It's like, yeah, that's that's an offensive lineman. Oh yeah, that's an offense. Oh yeah, he definitely offensive lineman. That was my response because majority of guys that started or played last year, had some things that had to get cleaned up, so they aren't really available as much. So it's a good thing because these transfers get to hit the ground running, learn the scheme, showing why we, went out there and got them and why the NIL donations play a big role. It's just as far as like the collective. I got a whole nother tangent when it comes to NIL, but let me stay focused. Quarterback situation. I'll say this. I'm not mad that we lost 10 and we gained 4. I ain't mad. And I ain't got nothing against 10. I like 10. He was exciting. The Joker, that Wake Forest game, I still say that second half of that Wake Forest game was phenomenal that he played. But if you tell me, hey, you gotta let 10 go to get 4, I'm glad we got the sheriff from North Texas. I'm gonna just put it to you like that. The way that Mama Jamma could throw the ball, bruh. What? Yeah.
Okay.
I like the receivers that we brought in, especially the young man from Purdue. We got a young kid that's a January enrollee that's playing well. He may play this season some, he may not, just depends because Trail Harris is the truth. And before this knee injury, he was showing why I was
Deep,
bragging on him
deep
before
threat.
last season. Yeah.
I know. How's he doing? Is he they still got him blowing tops off and getting deep?
Bruh, he do anything you need.
Or they got him routing people up too?
Anything you need, brother.
Really?
Anything you need a receiver could do, 11 could do.
11
Anything you need, he can do.
11.
I ain't laughing, I ain't joking.
Petty Hawk,
Anything you need
I'm
11 to
excited
do,
about that.
he can do. I ain't BSing you. Just PG. I ain't gonna cuss.
Well, now
Let me
that's
talk about
secondary.
a defensive guy. So I'm gonna tell you a story, right? So I'm at practice talking to Coach Tony. He was AI Tony because he had his hat backwards, and I told him about his NIL Tony on Twitter, but he don't know nothing about that because he don't be on social media, so he ain't laughing at my joke. So I'm like, oh man, that gotta be the kid from like Ohio State or Alabama, right? That kid yoked up. Look at his arms, boy. They got their weight programs is something else. He was like, who you talking about? I was like, right there, 6. He was like, that's the kid from Elon. I said, get the F out of
That's
here.
6'7", right? He's
Yeah, boy, when I
6'7".
tell you he looked like
Yeah.
look, let me tell you something, boy.
Patrick Kearney kind of in the realm, right? Kind of a
nah,
long
he
athletic with
no.
his
You know who Majors is, right? The actor that played in Creed?
yeah.
How how he yoked up?
Yeah, man.
That's how that kid look. He
Mm-hmm.
yoked.
Wow.
So when you see individuals in a pass and you just be like, yeah, we looked apart. Like you looked apart.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like the eye test is like every kid, every young man that has joined the squad looks the part. It ain't just no fluff or just, hey guys, we're gonna be good. Like, nah, just when you finally see them, you're gonna be like, yeah, all right. Like the spring game, when you see Ford throw the ball, yeah, all right. Like I ain't gotta sell nothing because I'm just going off what I see. I mean, I got a little rose colored glasses. I mean, but I learned that from Chad. He a Cowboy fan, so he taught me over the years. But secondary, we still got to improve. We still got to get better. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna get off my man Jam Jackson. They call him Jelly, but I call him Jam. And then Dre is healthy. Dre Walker.
Okay.
So with him back there, it's a big
Well,
difference. He wearing
well,
number 1 now too.
well, I was gonna say with the cornerbacks being that's your specialty, how are the defensive backs? I know we were still looking for some, and we may look. Well, we are, from what I understand, going to still look for some talent after the
Mhm.
after the spring game through the portal for some more talent from the defensive backs. How do the defensive backs actually look as a conglomerate?
Man, we still got some. The receivers got the advantage right now. The receivers got the advantage right now.
He
They
said
do.
trash can juice.
No, I ain't say that. Don't that ain't me. I didn't say that. I'm just being honest with you. Like the receivers got the advantage right now, which is expected because Jonas is not back there, and then Clary's not back there. So you got a lot of moving parts. That's new. Like the additions that we got through the transfer portal at DB, they playing well. But our receivers, like they they'll make sure they ready. They'll give them that work. For four, give them that work. Like that's all I'm saying. If they ain't ready, it's bombs over Baghdad. They striking up the band. It's gonna be some
Mm,
tugs. So if you don't pack your lunch that day, the receivers will remind you that you might want to get better.
run
Hey,
game.
Hawk, quick
Oh,
question
go
for
ahead,
you,
go ahead,
Hawk.
Wood. Go ahead, Wood. You got it.
Yeah.
Can you confirm or deny Monroe Mills towards ACL is out for the year?
Did coach say it yet? Cause I heard from folks saying that too. I was like, what?
Nah, coach hadn't said it, but I wonder what you thought. I heard it from somebody good, so
I'm
I know
just
you're not
like,
gonna break
yo,
no
I'm
news.
I'm
I was
I'm
just
waiting for
curious.
I'm
I'm just
I'm waiting
curious.
for them to confirm or deny. Like if it
There's so much
happened,
out there. I hope
I'm
not.
waiting to see if it happened. I hope it didn't.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't confirmed it either because none of the media outlets. You know how I go, ball hawk. If none of the media folks put it out there, you know,
Yeah.
247 or
I know,
Augusta
Law.
Free
I was
Press.
picking here, man. I was picking
I
for
mean,
the
I know,
info,
I
man.
know, I know. Like the
Yeah.
media folks that's been at practice lately
Mm-hmm.
gonna say they ain't seen him practice. They see him out there, so
Right.
you don't know what it is or what's going on. So
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be speculative. Like that's when you're gonna be like, hey, why so and so ain't out here?
That's
Like why
interesting.
it's hard. Like when Hawthorne won practice, like he ain't like what's up with him? Why he ain't like? So you gonna ask questions? Just like when somebody wear a green jersey, why are they limited? What happened? So you
Correct.
gonna the questions are going to coaches got to know like if somebody not dressed out, it's gonna be a question.
So
But me personally, I'm me personally, full transparency, I'm not in the business of breaking news. I just
for sure.
confirm once they say it. If they said, then I'll say I'll back what they said. But even if I know information, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna tell y'all if they ain't put it out
Of
there.
course not. Of course not.
Yeah, I'm not
Of
gonna do
course
that.
not. I
Like
wouldn't. I
that
wouldn't
ain't me.
expect. We wouldn't put you in that position. We wouldn't expect for you
No,
to
I'll be
give us.
honest with you. I just wouldn't tell you because it ain't my
Absolutely.
business to tell
Nah,
you.
That's
I
right.
would
That's
definitely
right.
put you in that. I would definitely put you in
Oh,
that
I know
position.
Chad would. That's what I told you.
Well,
I ain't
well,
telling
well,
you if I
well,
know.
well, well, that's our like I said, he's our resident Vegas, so he's gonna go for it. Let me
Chad,
ask
my
you this.
guy, I know Chad. Chad, I asked straight up, hey man, you can tell me no, I can't.
Let me ask you this as well.
I
Running
ain't gonna
back,
say nothing, but
running
then I'm
back.
gonna post it 10 minutes later.
Yeah, exactly. Running back room, man. How does running back room look like to me? Talk to me
Yeah,
about
run.
the running back room, man. What we got going on?
Again, got another transfer. He looked good. Like all the transfers look good. No cap, no BS, no filler. Like they look good. But to me, like here, a former player in me is like, it's the spring. You
Yeah.
should look good. I always say this. It's the spring. You should look good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm a new receiver coming in, I should beat you. You don't even know what I run. You don't even know what
Right.
my strengths and weaknesses are.
Route
Like
tree. Right.
everything is tailored for me to win. As a receiver, everything in practice is tailored for me to beat you as a DB. I ain't lying to y'all. Like it doesn't matter. Like if Dex was versus me in one-on-ones for me to win. I'm beating you, Dex. Like, but if it's team, he gonna beat me because he Dex. But if it's one-on-ones, I'm beating you. Pascal, I'm beating you.
Mm.
That's just how it is. Like majority of the time, it's
Yeah,
geared for the offense to win.
for sure. You're right. You're right about that.
Um,
Let's get into a little bit of petty hog, and I know you got to get going, but give us some petty hog. What you got, man, from a petty hog
Let me tell
standpoint?
you something, brother. If we don't get 8 wins this year, yo, with the
Oh,
schedule on paper that we got on paper, because
okay.
again,
Hold
because
on.
again,
Hold on.
Yeah. No. Let me cook. Cause again, this Petty Hawk, it looked weak because don't nobody know who the quarterback is. Majority of these teams, Florida State still Florida State. I know they were trash can juice last year, but they still got 5 stars all over the field. I mean, athleticism is athleticism. You know what I'm saying? North Carolina
Mhm.
showed us that. Everybody forgot North Carolina still had a good team. They came in here and they woke up and pow pow pow. We was, you know
Right.
what I'm saying? Took it to the woodshed. Um, Schedule is there. It reminds me. It definitely reminds me of the 2018 season
Mhm.
when Bronco hit his stride. Like that's that turning point season. We're gonna skip the line and barely get into the postseason, then get smacked in the military bowl. Like Tony can't even do that this year, to be honest with you. He can't limp into a bowl and then get smacked in a bowl. He gotta win. Well, we still lost that year versus Tech, but
Uh-oh.
Breaking up a little bit.
We're breaking up, Ball Hawk. If you can hear us, hold on a second.
We lost
You,
him.
you there? Look like we lost. Look, they
Look,
don't pull the plug on them,
they
Wood.
put a plug on Petty Hawk because
Yeah, I think
When
I think they heard him say
See,
8
that's
wins.
why
They
we
turned
should have
that
got.
shit off.
That's why we should have got Petty Hawk first.
yes, you know what? He's
no,
getting ready to say if
I
he
need.
don't win 8 games and get into a bowl and win the bowl, he done. That's what he getting ready to say.
Oh my goodness.
But again, it goes back to what I've always said. It's okay. They look the part, right? Like that's what he's saying. But looking the part means nothing if you can't coach that part.
That's right.
So, it- I mean, everybody knows that I have just not had the respect for this coaching staff like I have in previous years
Right.
for various reasons. But I'm also, we've talked about, the return. I'm not going to keep spending my money for a coaching staff who can't do anything. I understand that our talent has not been there, but we still have not been performing even at a level we should without as much talent. Period.
AB, he had talent the first year.
Yeah, he had talent the first
He
year,
had
and
talent coming
he
out
had
his
talent
ears.
he had talent last year. We're
Yeah.
just not performing on the field, and that, in my opinion, has always been because of poor coaching. And we didn't get rid of our offensive coach, so here we are. I mean, we can have this great quarterback, but that don't mean nothing when it comes to play calling.
Look, Petty Hawk, they pulled the plug on you, Petty Hawk.
no
We,
man, I
we,
forgot I didn't have my charger in my phone. My phone died. That's
yeah,
what I
they
get for
zapped
bumping
it
my
for you.
gums too much.
No, they zapped it.
He said
Nah,
eight.
they know
He said eight
Petty Hawk.
wins. They cut it. They cut him off at
Nah,
8
Petty
wins.
Hawk
They
can
cut
sell the
him off.
fight, man. Petty Hawk can sell the fight, man. They need me on marketing. Let me go ahead and control their social media. They need
So
that
you
Petty Hawk.
left off. You said what?
If he if
You're
they
not gonna talk.
if he don't win 8 games, you can
It's something
finish
about
the
and then
sentence
Tech,
now.
and then something about Tech.
Oh yeah, so I was saying like 2018 season, even though we lost down there at Tech when we should have beat them on that, the miraculous fumble that wasn't recovered by Brent Nelson, and then they got the recovery for a touchdown, and then but we beat South Carolina pretty easy.
Yeah.
So the excitement got there, and then was that the summer where Bronco said we have a lot of ACC caliber players, but
That was
we
the
end
year
up
before. That was the year
okay.
before.
All right, so
That was
that's how I
before he
feel
got
like,
Bryce.
yeah, you
Well,
know what
that
I'm
was
saying. So
Debo. That was Debo, wasn't it? 28-0 when they had Debo
yeah,
Samuel.
that was Debo.
No,
Yep,
Debo sat
not
out.
playing.
Debo sat out.
Yeah, he ain't
Yep.
play. But yeah, so Bryce Perkins helped kickstart the turnaround for Bronco,
Right.
with Mr. Morris kickstart the turnaround for Tony, because the other
Is he
quarterback from
really?
Nebraska is right there too.
So I
So
mean, okay, that's what I was going to ask. So more. I mean, so the quarterback now is. You're saying
more.
that he is possibly the dude that we've all kind of wanted, and the guy that even though they look similar in stature, definitely just a different player.
Well, before Hawk talks, we put $1 million on them, so I dang sure hope that they're that quarterback that we want them to be.
That's a fact.
And then the backup from Nebraska as well. How has he looked?
He look good too. He big. He a big kid.
Yeah.
He a bigger kid. So that's the thing. You got the young gunslinger from North Texas, 35 touchdowns, and then you got the heir apparent waiting in the wings, in a sense, and then you got 2 young guys coming in from high school that'll get here for fall camp that has have to learn. Also, I felt like we really upgraded the quarterback position. I
Mm.
really do, and it's not like I said, it's not a knock on AC. Like
Not
AC
a tip.
showed like a great ceiling, and then he showed like a plateau where it happens. Like people figure out what you can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
like I ain't got nothing bad to say about the kid. Like when he was on, he was on.
So I
Absolutely.
gotta before you got cut off there, and I know there's only certain things that you can say,
Yeah.
and you and I have had our own private conversations, and I know there's only so much you can say, but you're saying we have the players that look the part. Do
Mm-hmm.
we truly have the coaches that can coach on the level that we need to do to be able to take advantage of the talent that we have brought in?
Well, the talent there, they got the talent that they wanted. They got the talent they felt like fit what they do schematically.
But
So
do they have the skill to be able to produce that on the field?
if the talent there, I feel they do. I think every coach you got to get players that fit what you like. Some coaches can conform to the talent that they have and still flourish. Those are the special coaches. If
I
you
was
just
about to say, you talking
if
about
you
oh, you
just
talking about the cybernetic coaches, the ones
yeah,
that are
if you
yeah,
if you are like even Bronco, as good as a coach that he is, look at the type of quarterbacks that he needed to
he
win,
need it. Yeah,
and
he
he
need
finally got that. And like Kurt did well, but when he got Bryce, a guy who could give me the best of both worlds, and your receivers didn't drop a damn ball, and your line finally came, like everything
it. And
started
the
coming
system
along.
fit
You
him.
know what I'm saying? So, and then even with BA, like shoot, I didn't mean to curse.
Okay.
BA was, BA was special that year when we couldn't stop a Cole on defense, but offensively, that wasn't no problem. So it's there. Like this year, it's going like to answer your question. If it don't work this year, they're gonna look at the coaches because the talent level is there up front, both sides, receiver, quarterback, running back. Everybody's worrying about the secondary, so you gotta see what type of stops we could get. Are they gonna be timely stops? Are you gonna be shutting people down? Because our defense coordinator has shown when he has 2 good corners, that defense is very
Yeah.
good. They
Yeah.
both are all ACC that season,
Confusion.
and
You
they
know,
got
he's
plenty of stops that year. And then when they lost those ACC corners, you saw people kind of questioning what he could do. But it's like he couldn't be as aggressive as he really wanted because he didn't want to leave those guys on the back end really out to dry because he wants
right.
to be aggressive.
Yep. Yep. He's great at confusing the other quarterback, man.
So
Great
yes,
job
Coach Kitchen
guiding
will
him.
remain in the hot seat because that's what we do to OCs here, baby. You in the hot seat. You better embrace it.
That's Woods'
He
guy.
should be, but he should be.
You better embrace it. Yeah, just like a nah. He stay in the hot seat no matter what. Cause he always threw to the tackle. Even when he doing well. He gonna do something to make you be like, that's Dr. Bob. I'm just joking, y'all.
So that's some petty hog there. Anything you guys want to say to Ball Hog? Anything you want to say, Ball Hog?
Nah,
Anything
man.
else you want to add,
Nah, I
brother?
appreciate you for allowing me to join this great conversation. I do a great job, man. I try to tap in when I can. We're on spring break right now for the city schools here and the county schools. So I'm off this week. So I had time to tap in. I remember what days you on live. And I was like, man, let me see what Law talking about today.
I
And
appreciate that,
I'm
man. I
glad I popped
appreciate it.
in.
Well, you guys are going to be on the ACC network, so they're going to like really blow it out and televise the spring game on the ACC network, from what I understand. So if you can't make it to the stadium, which I hope most of my teammates can make it, but if you can't, they're going to definitely have you guys out there on the on the ACC channel for what I saw.
Yeah, that's dope. I get the last year I had to do a mock game because that's when myself and Matt was joining the broadcast. So we did a mock game covering the spring game. But this year I get to just enjoy it
That's
as a
right.
fan. So I'm excited about just being able to watch without working.
Well, I think you have got some excitement going on, especially at least in this arena where you are with us, and that quarterback talk is great. The receivers you talked about sounds great as well. Tight ends, I think I like the tight
That
ends as well.
Twitty, yeah,
Dakota
yeah,
is special.
yeah.
He's special. And then you got our kid from Harvard who hurt his knee. He came back. Hurt his
No,
leg.
Ennis is from
I mean
Clemson.
Sage. I mean Sage.
Yeah, he from
Yeah,
Clemson.
Sage is back. That's what I mean.
And then
He's back.
Takei Kirby, he's still developing.
yeah.
He's still, he has the wheels to be a matchup nightmare. So
hopefully we're putting together something special, man. But yeah, anything else anybody wants to say to Ball Hawk before we let him go?
I want to give the man Ahmad credit for the job he did at halftime of the women's games this year.
Oh yeah, you like that, man? I enjoyed myself,
man,
brother.
I want to tell you, halftime before this year was cringeworthy. I kept waiting for Petty Hawk to show up, but we can work that in next year.
I had to get in good graces this year. Next year, I'm doing every home game, so I'm gonna really have some
awesome
fun. But
you really did. I mean, you were just silly enough to be engaging, but not disrespectful. I mean, quite frankly, I think if the refs had joined in a couple of times,
yeah, man,
I think we would have had a lot of fun. But no, they got to be.
They doing their job. So. They can't. You know what? I used to I almost got in trouble when I first did it, but then it was like we just never had somebody try to engage with the refs. I don't think you're supposed to touch them. I was like, well, I just won't touch them no more. I'll just put the mic in their face and see if they'll say something.
It was great. It was great. I enjoyed it.
Nah, man, I did that, man, because Kimora is from Charlottesville, knowing her since she was young, and when they asked for folks to audition to be an MC for various different sports, I especially requested could I do the women's game because of Mo and O, and they allowed me to come out the games I was available because I coached track, and I enjoyed myself, man. So I had more fun than I think the fans had fun watching me do it.
I know this one did. I can't speak for anybody else, but I know this one did.
Nah, man, and it's fun to watch them play too, man. I hope we get
they are fun to watch.
I definitely.
Kimora is something special.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, we appreciate you jumping in here, Ball Hog, and hanging out. You're always welcome to come back, man. And we'll keep it all hot and spicy as we always do here on Seven Cities Shop Talk.
Yeah, y'all definitely do keep it spicy though. Y'all definitely do. You know what I'm saying? With Chad up here or AB up here, with both of them, hey man, let me tell you, sometimes you ain't gotta do nothing but just put a topic out there. They gonna do the rest.
What my man say, my cousin, he said, just throw the bone on the floor and see which dogs go after it.
Ooh, man.
He said, just throw the bone on the floor and see which dogs go after it. But yeah, but I appreciate you, brother. And and we'll get up. Maybe well, I'll see you at the spring game. If I don't know who else is going to show up from the team as well. I know we got a few that may come, but thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man. Big shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all support, follow my man Law, everybody that's on the panel, man. I'm a huge fan, and I just try to spread that positivity, man, and just show everybody that we ain't got to compete against each other. We just, uplift each other, support each other, and we can all grow. You know what I'm saying? Because
absolutely,
too many times we get caught up in comparing and contrasting and tearing each other down. That ain't me. So that's why I love to come on and support you, bro.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that
sir.
so much. All
right, man.
everyone.
Y'all be blessed.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Absolutely. Thank you. That was the analyst in the booth on game day, Ahmad Ball Hawk Hawkins, tuning in to Seven City Shop Talk, coming on and spreading some wahoo cheer about one of the subjects we talked about with women's sports, and of course giving us like a quick analysis, something I didn't have planned about our football program and the spring game to come next weekend. So really a treat to have him here. And as always, look, we're on for 1 hour and 19. Tell me that did not go fast, you guys. We didn't even get to 3 other topics. That's how spicy and how hot it was this week. So
wait till next week.
I'm telling you, because we still got torpedo bats, Buzz going to Maryland, the portal.
We don't even need to talk about that idiot.
Right. Still solid.
Yeah.
So let's do this.
And
Let me
he's in
come
the
to
Kenny Brooks Club, isn't he?
you. Yep. No, ball hog, it was appreciated, man. But you can have the airtime when you want, brother. You can come on in. Let me come to you, Ed. What do you got to
Yes,
say
sir.
as your closing monologue, sir?
I really hope that the women's game has made tremendous strides. And one of the things I was going to say during the discussion was I'm wondering if maybe I still think it's important to distribute the money fairly, but maybe the women's game, Nike doesn't just hand out shoe contracts to just anybody. That's some sort of social program. They're in the business to make money. So if they're giving out shoe contracts to WNBA players, maybe the tide has turned.
Okay. All right. Ball hog is asking if you're driving a Tesla, Ed. He said you drive. He asked you if you're driving a Tesla.
No, I wish.
Amy, let me come to you. What do you got to say in closing?
Me or AB?
You.
Oh,
Amy.
I just baseball season is upon us. The Orioles won opening day. We got the
Did they win after that?
Red Sox.
Yeah.
The Yankees suck, and
yeah,
they're using illegal bats. That's going to
torpedo
be
bats.
addressed real quick.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about that tonight, but
we have
we'll
to
talk
do it
about
next week. But I can tell you that's going to get addressed real quick.
Right.
Torpedo bats.
Let me come to you, AB. Anything you want to say in closing monologue?
Yeah, I just heard that we have a special fan that watches us every week. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Uncle Steve. Thank you for checking in every week. And then, of course, Hawkins. I mean, he came in tonight, but the one thing I can say about him is he has his own analyst, but he's completely open to hearing other people's perspectives. And him and I have had a lot of conversations in the back end of things. And, I appreciate him and respect him, and we both respect each other and our viewpoints. So I appreciate him coming on and supporting us as well tonight.
Awesome. Let me come to you, Wood, closing out.
No, I appreciate you, Hawk, joining in. I'm in the driveway. Ed, plug that car in. You got a long travel tomorrow, so plug that car in and make sure you get that battery all good up and charged.
Appreciate your concern. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, plug that thing in, man. Hawk, I appreciate you, man. We're in the driveway. Other than that, we're all good, man.
Ball hog said, cut the light on, Chad.
I got one on. I only got two to drain my battery. I'm not in the Tesla. Elon ain't hollering back at me yet.
But I can tell you, as I said before, this was going to be a very interesting show, and it really held up to that standard as well. But UVA sports, like I said, there's always something going on. Whether it's something that's that we look at from a perspective of, hey, we can do it better, UVA needs to do it better, or something that the teams are not doing so well. We can talk about it either way. But one thing I tell you, one thing is for sure, that my squad is going to definitely bring some of the heat for you guys to talk about and to listen to, and we're definitely gonna get it out there, and have some fun with it. But it's nothing without my squad here, and without you viewers and fans paying attention and watching. And like I say, we got the season before the season, we got the spring game coming up, so we're excited about that, and we're I'll be there. We may have a few other co-hosts that show up as well, so I'm just excited. And I gotta thank my man Ball Hawk Ahmad for coming on and spending some time with us and adding to the show this week. And it's as we continue to navigate this world of Whoville, hopefully things continue to get better on both ends. Basketball, looks like they may have they got their man. It may seem like the cupboards are a little bare right now, but stick with him. It looks like he's bringing in some talent, different talent from what we're used to seeing. And I'm excited to see what he can do. And then, of course, Coach Elliott, very controversial as well with this team, with this group I got here. And, you know, what is a Cat has 9 lives. I guess he's on 8 or 7 right now, you know, with this crew. And,
I think
and we're
he's
going
on
to
8.5.
8 and a half. There we go. Look, it's from the mouth of Amy. There we go. So what we'll do here is keep the fire burning, and we'll get back at you next week. And just ready to get back at it. Spring game next not this weekend, but next weekend, and we'll get there. But we got to thank all of you for hanging out and spending time with us. But as of now, this shop is closed. Thank you guys for tuning in and sticking with us. Hour and 25 minutes on the line. Thanks, and we will get back to you.